My sister stole my bank card, withdrew $23,000, spent it all. And my parents defended her until a single action changed everything and shattered their perception. I'm a 35-year-old man from a loud, typical Italian-American family in New Jersey. You know the kind. Sunday dinners are mandatory. Everyone is involved in everyone else's business.
Yeah.
And your grandmother will insist you eat until you're bursting. Growing up, it was me, my older sister Sophia, 38, and our parents, both 65. In a small 3-bedroom house that always smelled of garlic and my mother's sauce, Sophia was always the favored one. Mom and Dad essentially treated her as if she were a divine gift to Italian Americans. She was the attractive one, the intelligent one, the one destined for greatness. Me, I was just the kid who was good with his hands and ended up in construction. Don't get me wrong, I earn a good living managing crews now, enough to live comfortably and maybe take one vacation a year if I'm fortunate. But to Sophia, that made me the family's disappointment. She never missed an opportunity to remind me how I settled for a blue-collar life while she pursued her grand ambitions. The truth is, those grand ambitions primarily involved marrying wealthy and enjoying a lavish lifestyle. She actually managed it for a while. She met this man, Marco, a 42-year-old millionaire. At some upscale wine-tasting event she used to crash, pretending to be more important than she was. He had money, came from a respectable Italian family, the whole package. Mom and Dad were ecstatic, their precious princess finally getting the life they believed she deserved. They had a massive wedding that Dad practically depleted his savings for because heaven forbid Sophia didn't get everything she desired. I recall standing there in my rented tuxedo, watching her marry this poor fellow, thinking, well, at least she'll be someone else's problem now. Boy, was I mistaken. Fast forward 5 years and everything fell apart. Marco filed for divorce unexpectedly. Well, not entirely unexpectedly, I had my suspicions. There was this personal trainer at her gym she constantly talked about, always. Texting, always finding excuses to spend extra time there. I never said anything, because you know how Italian families are about such matters. But I'm quite certain Marco caught her doing more than just Pilates, if you catch my drift. The divorce was messy, like throwing plates in restaurants messy. Yes, she actually did that, and it made the local paper. Marco had a skilled lawyer and an ironclad prenuptial agreement. Smart guy. Sophia received almost nothing except some monthly support for their daughter, Isabella, a 9-year-old girl. That's when the real drama began. Sophia was a wreck. She had no real job skills because she'd spent years playing the trophy wife. She and Isabella needed a place to live and money to survive. Now, in a normal family, the parents would step in and help their daughter get back on her feet. Not my parents. Mom and Dad suddenly decided this was their moment to enjoy their retirement. They had just retired and were planning all these trips to Italy to reconnect with their heritage or whatever. They essentially told Sophia they couldn't help because they needed to find themselves or some nonsense like that. Remember that emptied savings from the wedding? Apparently that was their sole contribution to her adult life. So guess who got volunteered? Yep, your boy Antonio. That's me, by the way. Not my real name. But close enough because I'm the one with the stable job and no responsibilities, in their words. Apparently being single meant I had nothing better to do than finance my sister. At first, it was just supposed to be temporary. Just until I find a job. Antonio, just help with groceries for a few months. Antonio, Isabella needs new school supplies. Antonio, you know how it goes. Before I knew it, I was paying her rent $1,600 a month for a decent place. Because God forbid Sophia live in a regular apartment, 2 utilities, grocery bills, plus extras for Isabella. The kid needed a laptop for school? Uncle Antonio's got it. Dance classes. Uncle Antonio will cover it. Birthday parties. You guessed it. Kept telling myself it was for Isabella. The kid's amazing. Smart, sweet, nothing like her mother. Not her fault her mom's a train wreck, right? Plus, in Italian families, you're supposed to help family no matter what. Mom drilled that into our heads since we were kids. Family first. Always. Though funny how that only seemed to apply to helping Sophia, not me. This went on for 5 years. 5 years of watching my savings disappear. 5 years of skipping my own vacations because Sophia needed help with Isabella's summer camp. 5 years of Sophia looking down her nose at me while living off my money. The worst part? Sophia acted like she was doing me a favor by letting me help, like she was giving me purpose in life or something. She'd make these little comments at family dinners about how sweet it was that I was so invested in them. Always with this tone like she was talking about a kid's lemonade stand. But hey, I was raised to believe family helps family, so I gritted my teeth and kept writing those checks, kept telling myself it was temporary. About a year ago, Sophia finally landed a decent job, actually decent some HR position at a pharmaceutical company, benefits, salary, the whole package. I think it was around $65,000 a year, not exactly rolling in cash, but way better than the random consulting work she claimed to be doing before. Spoiler, she wasn't actually consulting anyone. I figured this was it. My chance to slowly back off from being her personal ATM. I told her I'd keep helping for a few months while she got settled in the new job. Be a good brother. And all that, make the transition smooth for Isabella's sake. That's when things got strange. First, it was small stuff. Sophia showing up to Sunday dinner wearing designer shoes, then a fancy new phone, then a whole new wardrobe because, apparently, her old clothes weren't professional enough for her new job. Whatever, right? Maybe she got a signing bonus or something, but it kept escalating. Every week, she'd arrive at Mom and Dad's house with some new expensive item, fancy handbags. Jewelry even talked about joining the super expensive gym because her old one didn't have the right atmosphere. Meanwhile, I'm still paying her rent and utilities because she kept saying she needed just a little more time to build up her savings. Quick side note, our Sunday dinners are like a sacred tradition. In our family, Miss One, and Mom acts like you've committed a crime against humanity itself. So every week, I had to sit there and watch this spectacle. Sophia showing off her new possessions. Mom and Dad beaming at their precious princess, getting back on her feet. And me silently calculating how much of my money was going into her rent versus her shopping spree. Aunt Maria, 64, was the only one who seemed to notice something was amiss. She'd give me these looks across the table, like she could tell I was about to lose it. Thank God for her, by the way, only sane person in our family besides me. So anyway, this went on for months, me getting more and more frustrated, Sophia getting more and more entitled. Then came the Sunday that made me snap. We're all sitting around the table. Me, Sophia, Isabella, Mom, Dad, and Aunt Maria. Mom made her famous lasagna, which Sophia always complains has too many calories now. Everything's normal, right? Sophia's bragging about some work thing. Dad's talking about their upcoming trip to Sicily. Isabella's playing with her phone under the table. Then Sophia drops this bombshell. Oh, I'm thinking of getting this gorgeous Gucci bag I saw. It's only $500, and it would be perfect for client meetings. I almost choked on my wine. $500 for a purse, while I'm still covering her $1,600 rent? I tried keeping calm. I really did. I asked her, real casual like, that's a lot for a purse when you're still getting help with bills, don't you think? Her response? Man, I can still hear it in my head. She does this little laugh like I'm some stupid kid, and says, don't be cheap, Antonio. Professional needs to look professional. Cheap, she called me cheap. Me, who hadn't bought new work boots in 2 years because her rent ate my budget. Me, who skipped my best friend's wedding in Vegas because she needed money for Isabella's summer camp. Me, who hadn't been on a real date in months because every spare dollar went to her emergencies. The worst part wasn't even her saying it. It was everyone else's reaction. Mom and Dad suddenly got super interested in their plates. Isabella looked uncomfortable. Poor kid's used to her mom's nonsense by now. Only Aunt Maria seemed ready to say something, but I beat her to it. I set down my fork real slow, took a sip of wine, and just let it all out. Not yelling. I don't do that around Isabella, just cold, hard truth. Let's talk about cheap, Sophia. Let's talk about how I've been paying your rent for 5 years while you buy designer junk. Let's talk about how our parents won't help because they're too busy finding themselves in Italy. Let's talk about how you look down on my simple job while living off it. The room went dead silent. You could have heard a meatball drop. Then I dropped the real bomb. I'm done. No more rent, no more utilities, no more groceries, no more nothing. You've got a good job. Great. Time to be an actual adult and pay your own bills. Sophia's face went through like 5 different emotions in 2 seconds. Shocked, angry, scared, trying to figure out if I was serious. Aunt Maria actually started slow, clapping straight up. Way to go, Antonio, right there at the table. Mom looked like she was going to faint. Dad wouldn't even look at me. I grabbed my jacket and headed for the door, but turned back for one last shot. And Sophia, that $500 purse, maybe spend it on rent instead, because I mean it. I'm done being your bank. Then I walked out. Aunt Maria followed me, gave me this big hug, and told me she was proud of someone finally standing up too. Sophia's rubbish. You'd think after dropping a bomb like that, Sophia would have blown up my phone with angry texts or voicemails, right? That's her usual move. She once sent me 47 messages because I was 10 minutes late picking up Isabella from dance class. But nope, complete radio silence, not a peep for a whole week. The weird thing is that silence got to me more than her screaming would have. Like, I kept checking my phone, expecting to see missed calls or something. Even my WhatsApp family group? Yeah, we've got one of those. It's usually just mom sending random prayer chains and food. Pix was dead quiet, though Aunt Maria did send me a private message saying they'll get over it. I did the right thing. I skipped the next Sunday dinner, sent Mom a text saying I had to work, which wasn't totally a lie. I did pick up an extra shift. I could practically feel her disappointment through the phone. She sent back this passive-aggressive, "That's fine. Isabella asked about you, but work is more important than family." I understand. Classic Italian mom guilt trip right there. Then Wednesday night, around 9:30, someone starts pounding on my door. I'm already in my sweats, half asleep on the couch watching the game. I open up to find Mom and Dad standing there looking like I'd personally canceled Christmas. Mom barges in without even saying hi, typical, starts pacing around my living room in her church clothes. It probably comes straight from evening mass. Dad just stands there with that disappointed dad face he's perfected over the years. "We need to talk about Sophia," Mom announces, like she's about to open peace negotiations or something. I grab a soda from the fridge, offer them some. They both give me that look like I just suggested we rob a bank. Fine, more for me. She's struggling, Antonio. Dad finally speaks up. "Isabella doesn't deserve to suffer because of your stubbornness." I almost spit out my soda. My stubbornness? Let me get this straight, I say, trying to keep my voice level. You too, who've been taking cruises and wine tours instead of helping your own daughter, want to lecture me about making Isabella suffer? Mom's face does that thing where she looks like she's sucking a lemon. That's not fair. We're retired. We worked hard all our lives. You're young, you have a good job, and Sophia's your sister. Sister, I shoot back. But I guess that only matters when it's convenient, huh? This sets off a whole thing. Mom starts going off about family responsibility, how I'm being heartless, how Isabella is an innocent child. Dad keeps throwing in these little comments about how this isn't how they raised me. The best part, they hit me with this gem. "We don't enable her like you do. She needs to learn responsibility." I lost it. Completely lost it. Started laughing right in there. Faces. Oh, now she needs to learn responsibility? Where was this attitude 5 years ago when I started paying her bills? Where was this when she was buying designer crap with my money? Real convenient timing, Mom. Dad? Dad tries to cut in with some nonsense about how I'm being cold, how this isn't like me. I just walked to my door and held it open. "Thanks for stopping by," I tell them, "but this is how it's going to be from now on. Sophia wants to act like an adult. Time to pay bills like one." They left, muttering in Italian under their breath. Always a sign they're super angry. Mom didn't even try to force leftovers on me, which in Italian mom language basically means I'm dead to her. Aunt Maria called me the next morning. Apparently Sophia had been crying to everyone about how she might have to move to a dangerous neighborhood, aka anywhere without a Whole Foods nearby, because her cruel brother cut her off. Mom and Dad had been making the rounds at church, telling everyone how their once sweet son had turned his back on family. But here's the thing. Aunt Maria heard through her friend at the salon that Sophia had been bragging about some fancy vacation she was planning. A spa weekend or something. With what money? That's what I wanted to know. Then Friday night, I get this call from Sophia. Her voice is all sweet, like when she used to manipulate me into buying her stuff when we were kids. "Just wanted to let you know I'm moving out of the apartment next month," she says, like we're having a normal conversation. What? Can't afford it without me? I ask, probably sounding more smug than I should. Her laugh sends chills down my spine. Oh, I can afford it. I just found something better. Turns out she's moving in with Mom and Dad. They offered their guest room so poor Isabella wouldn't have to live in some awful apartment. Sophia sounded so pleased with herself, like she'd won some kind of game. The next month, I got a call from my accountant. Told me to check my credit report right now. Apparently, my sister used my information to open new bank accounts. I immediately logged into my Experian account. My hands were shaking so bad I had to type my password 3 times. What I saw, guys, I nearly threw up. There were 4 new credit cards open in my name over the last 6 months. 4, all maxed out. Talking thousands of dollars in. Charges to stores I'd never even heard of. Saks Fifth Avenue, Nordstrom, some fancy boutiques in the city. It's even airline tickets to Miami. Guess that explains her work trip last month. The total damage? $23,400? Let that sink in. $23,000. That's almost what I had managed to save for a down payment on a house, all gone because my sister decided to play identity theft. I'm not proud of what happened next, but I completely lost it. Threw my phone across the room, thank God for good cases. Punched a wall, yeah, I know, real smart move. My hand still hurts. And then just sat on my kitchen floor having what felt like a panic attack. Called Aunt Maria because she's the only one with any sense in this family. It's like 11 p.m. at this point, but she picks up on the second ring. When I tell her what Sophia did, she starts cursing in Italian like the kind of words Nana would. Have washed our mouths out with soap for... You need to call the police, she says. But here's the thing. Sophia has Isabella. If I press charges, what happens to my niece? It's the only innocent one in this mess. I spent the whole night going through the charges. Designer spa treatments, fancy restaurants. This woman was living the high life on my credit while I was eating ramen to save money. There were even charges for Isabella's private school tuition. Which explains why Sophia suddenly stopped asking me for school expenses. The next morning, running on like 2 hours of sleep and enough espresso to kill a horse, I called a lawyer. The guy specializes in identity theft cases. It's cost me $400 for the consultation, but worth every penny. Here's the fun part. Sophia didn't even try to hide her tracks. Every single purchase was delivered to her address. She used her own phone number and email on the accounts. The lawyer said it was one of the most clear-cut cases of identity theft he'd seen. With this evidence, he says she's looking at serious charges. But there's always a but. Since she's family, maybe we try negotiating first, he suggests. Sending her a formal letter demanding full repayment before we go the criminal route. Gives her one chance to fix this before I ruin her life more than she deserves. I think about Isabella and agree.
Aye.
So I call Sophia. My hands are shaking again, but this time from rage.
Johnny.
She answers, all cheerful, like nothing's. Wrong. How's my favorite? I cut her off. I know about the credit cards. Dead silence. Then I can explain, shut up. Just shut the hell up for once in your life and listen. My voice is so cold I barely recognize it. You have exactly 1 week to pay back every cent. If you don't, I'm pressing charges. And Sophia, I have all the evidence. She tries the waterworks, but I say, Isabella is the only reason you're getting this chance. 1 week, that's it. I hang up and immediately block her number. Then I send everything the credit reports, the charges delivery confirmations to my lawyer, just in case. I called my bank next, froze all my accounts, and started the fraud process. I had to take the day off work because this stuff is basically a full-time job. The credit card companies want police reports. The banks want affidavits. Everybody wants forms filled out in triplicate. Aunt Maria brings me lunch homemade meatball sub, Italian comfort food at its finest. She sits with me while I'm on hold with yet another fraud department. You know she's going to run to your parents, she says. Let her. I'm done protecting her. So a week goes by, right? I'm checking my accounts obsessively, jumping every time my phone rings. Why? Sophia tried calling from different numbers, but I blocked them all. Mom left me about 47 voicemails, didn't listen to them, learned that lesson after the great Christmas fight of 2019. Then, exactly 1 week later, I get this email from my credit card company. All the accounts have been paid. In full. I'm sitting there staring at my phone like I'm seeing things. Had to read the email like 5 times. Call the company to verify. Yep, all paid off. Every last cent. I should have felt relieved, right? But something felt off. Sophia working as an HR rep at some pharma company. No way she had that kind of cash lying around. Unless... Aunt Maria calls me that afternoon. You'll never believe what your mother just told me. Turns out Mom and Dad had drained their retirement savings. To pay off Sophia's debt, their dream trip to Sicily fund, gone. The money they'd been saving for their 40th anniversary cruise, poof. All of it went to paying off what Sophia stole from me. And guess whose fault that is, according to them? If you said mine, congratulations. You understand Italian family logic. The next morning, my phone rings. It's Mom. Haven't heard her actual voice in weeks, so I answer like an idiot. Are you happy now? She screams. Pretty sure my neighbors 3 doors down heard her. We had to give Sophia our savings, our retirement money, all because you had to be dramatic about a few credit cards. I almost choke. A few credit cards, Mom? She committed identity theft? She's your sister. Family handles things in the family. But no, you had to threaten her with lawyers and police like she's some criminal. She is a criminal. She stole my identity. She was desperate, and now we can't go to Sicily. We're stuck here all winter, and it's all because you couldn't handle this like family? I lost it. Handle it like family? Like you and Dad handled it when she needed help? Oh wait, you were too busy enjoying your golden years to help your own daughter? But I helped her for 5 years. I helped her, and how did she thank me? By stealing my identity. You didn't have to threaten her, Mom sniffs. We could have worked something out. Like what? Another 5 years of me paying her bills while she shops at Saks? No thanks. You're not the son I raised, she says in that quiet, disappointed voice that used to destroy me as a kid. The son I raised would never turn his back on family, and I'm not the son you raised, I shot back. I'm better. I'm the son who finally stopped letting his family treat him like a doormat. She hung up. 10 minutes later, my phone starts blowing up with messages from random relatives. Apparently, Mom's been telling everyone how I forced them to spend their retirement money, how I abandoned my sister and niece, how I threatened poor Sophia with jail. The messages were wild. How could you do this to your parents? Your poor mother is crying. What kind of monster threatens his own sister? Isabella is traumatized. That one was rich. Isabella was at school and didn't even know what was happening. Then Sophia starts posting on Facebook about how families should stand together in hard times, with some nonsense quote about forgiveness. All our relatives eating it up in the comments, telling her how strong she is. I had to shut down my social media, but the real kick in the teeth. Sophia moves in with Mom and Dad that weekend, rent-free of course. Posts pictures of their family dinners with captions about true family sticking together. Even got Isabella to pose for these staged photos, looking all sad, talking about how much she misses Uncle Antonio. Aunt Maria sends me screenshots because I blocked everyone else. She's playing them like a fiddle. She texts and they're letting her. Then Sophia pulls her master stroke, gets Isabella to call me after school one day. I always answer. For Isabella, Uncle Antonio, her voice is small. Are you mad at me? My heart just breaks. No, honey, never at you. And why won't you come to dinner anymore? Mom says it's because you're angry at us. I had to grip my counter to stay calm. Using her own kid as a weapon? That's low even for Sophia. Isabella, listen to me. You didn't do anything wrong. This is adult stuff between me and your mom. I love you, and that's never going to change. She sniffles. Mom says you don't love us anymore because you won't help us. That's when I hear Sophia in the background, encouraging Isabella to tell me how sad she is, how much she misses me. Never wanted to reach through a phone and strangle someone so bad in my life. So after Sophia pulled that stunt with making Isabella call me, I was ready to just wash my hands of the whole family except Aunt Maria. She's a saint. But then I get this text from Isabella's school. See, I'm still on her emergency contact list, so I get all the school announcements. They're doing this winter play, The Wizard of Oz. Isabella is playing Dorothy. She'd been practicing for months, way before all this drama started. Being Dorothy was like her dream role. I remembered her practicing somewhere over the rainbow in my car when I used to drive her to dance class. The text has a link to buy tickets. I stare at it for like an hour, debating. Sophia would be there, Mom and Dad, two probably drama. Waiting to happen, but it's Isabella. Aunt Maria calls while I'm still thinking about it. You're going to that play, Antonio? Maria, you know Sophia's going to be there? I don't care if the Pope himself is there. That little girl needs someone in her corner who isn't playing games. I'll go with you. So I buy 2 tickets. Don't tell anyone I'm coming. Figure I'll slip in the back, watch Isabella shine, then leave before Sophia can start anything. Day of the play, I show up with Aunt Maria. Got Isabella these little yellow roses, her favorite color, plus they kind of match the yellow brick road theme. We get there early, find seats near the back. Isabella was amazing, brought tears to my eyes amazing. She spots me in the audience during Somewhere Over the Rainbow, and her whole face lights up. Worth every second of drama, just for that smile. After the play, all the parents and family are gathering in the gym for this little reception thing. I'm planning to just leave the flowers with the teacher to give to Isabella, but then I hear Uncle Antonio. And here comes Isabella, running full speed, still in her Dorothy costume. She crashes into me with this huge hug. I hand her the roses, and she's beaming. You came. You really came. Then I hear it, that fake sweet voice that makes my skin crawl. Well, look who decided to show up. Sophia is standing there in some designer outfit that probably costs more than my monthly rent. She's got this smug look on her face like she's won something. Really, Antonio? Flowers? Are you trying to buy her love now? I ignore her focus. On Isabella. You were amazing up there, kiddo. I'm so proud of you. But Sophia's not done. She crosses her arms, raises her voice so other parents can hear. You know, it's funny how you can afford flowers but couldn't find it in your heart to keep helping your family. People are starting to look. Isabella's smile is fading. Aunt Maria steps forward, but I put my hand on her arm. Are you seriously doing this? I ask Sophia quietly. Here now. Why not? She shoots back. You've already humiliated me in front of everyone. Might as well make it a full set. I start to walk away, trying to keep it civil. But then she says something that stops me cold. Isabella deserves better. She deserves an uncle who actually cares about her, not someone who uses her to make himself feel better. I turn back, my voice low but clear. You don't get to play that card, Sophia. It's not after everything you've done. And I'm not going to stand here while you try to turn Isabella against me. She's not stupid. One day she'll see the truth. What truth? Sophia laughs. That her uncle abandoned her? That he threatened to send her mother to jail? To the truth. About the credit cards? I snap back. The gym goes quiet. The truth about how you stole my identity. How about the truth about why Marco really left? Sophia's face goes white. Yeah, I went there. Uncle Antonio. Isabella's voice is small. What credit cards? Sophia grabs Isabella's arm. We're leaving now. No. Isabella pulls away. First time I've ever seen her stand up to her mom. I want to know what's going on. Everyone's always fighting, and no one tells me why. She starts crying. Real tears. Not the fake ones Sophia coached her to use on the phone. My heart breaks all over again. I kneel down to her level. Isabella, listen. But Sophia yanks her away. Don't you dare talk to her. You lost that right. When you turned your back on us, you didn't turn his back on anyone. Aunt Maria finally explodes. You stole from him after everything he did for you. The gym is dead silent now, everyone watching this Italian family drama play out like it's a soap opera. Isabella's drama teacher tries to intervene, suggests maybe this isn't the place. Sophia uses this as her exit, dragging Isabella away while playing the victim card. See how they treat us, your own family? I stand there watching them leave. Feeling like the biggest failure, Aunt Maria hugs me tight. She needed to hear the truth eventually, she whispers. As we're leaving, I hear parents whispering. Sophia spent months painting me as the villain, but tonight they saw who she really was. Small victory, but at what cost? So the day after the school play disaster, I get this call from Isabella. She's using her friend Lisa's phone because Sophia Took her phone away after the play real mature, right? She's crying, and not the fake crying her mom taught her, like real heavy sobs that make my heart hurt. I hate it here, she tells me. Mom and Grandma and Grandpa are always fighting about money, and they're always talking about you, and I just want everything to go back to normal. Turns out, Sophia's been making everyone miserable at my parents' house. Treating it like a hotel, leaving messes everywhere, staying out late. The Golden Child Act lasted about 2 weeks before her real personality came out. But my parents are stuck. They blew their savings on her credit card debt, so they can't even escape to Sicily like they planned. Can I come stay with you? Isabella asks. Just for a little while. Man, my heart breaks. I can't do that, kiddo. But listen, you can always call me. I don't care what your mom says. Then she says something that floors me. I heard Mom talking to her friend about the credit cards. She stole from you, didn't she? That's why you stopped helping us kids. 9 going on 30, I swear. But too smart for her own good. Isabella, I say carefully, sometimes adults make really big mistakes, but none of this is your fault. You understand that, right? She's quiet for a minute. Mom says you abandoned us, but that's not true, is it? You helped us for a really long time. 5 years, I tell her. And I would have kept helping if your mom hadn't made those mistakes. Is that why you don't come to Sunday dinner anymore? Yeah, kiddo, but that doesn't mean I don't love you. You're the best part of this whole crazy family. We talk for like an hour about school, about her friends, about how weird it is living with Grandma and Grandpa. She's worried about her mom. But she's also angry, says Sophia barely pays attention to her anymore. Too busy going out with friends and shopping. After we hang up, I call Aunt Maria. We come up with a plan. See, Maria's always been the family mediator. Even when we were kids, she was the one who could talk sense into people. She starts visiting my parents' house more often, specifically when Isabella is there. Takes her to Sunday school. Teaches her to make proper sauce. Sophia still buys the jar stuffed, practically a crime in our family. I might not be able to be there physically, but I make sure Isabella knows I'm still in her corner. Send her books through Amazon. She's a big reader. Have long talks on the phone when she can sneak calls. Even helped her with a science project over video chat. Sophia tried to stop it at first, but here's the thing about Italian families. You don't mess with the aunts. Maria shut that down real quick. You want me to tell everyone at church what really happened with those credit cards? Suddenly, Sophia got real cooperative. As for my parents, well, that's complicated. Dad called me last week, first time in months. Said they're struggling with Sophia living there. She's not looking for a job, not helping with bills, basically. Treating their house like a free hotel. Asked if I had any advice. I told him the same thing I've been saying for years. Sophia needs consequences, or she'll never change. He actually listened this time. We're giving her 2 months to find a job in her own place. Mom's not happy about it, but even she's starting to see the light, especially after Sophia maxed out her credit card. Yeah, she hasn't learned. Isabella is doing better. She started standing up for herself more, even tells Sophia off sometimes when she's being dramatic. Kid's got spine. Last week, she made the honor roll, sent me a picture of her certificate right away. Aunt Maria says she reminds her of me at that age. Strong but kind, she says, like someone else I know. The family's still split. Some relatives think I'm the devil for not helping family. Others, especially after seeing Sophia's behavior at my parents' house, are starting to get it. The truth has a way of coming out eventually. I'm doing okay. Finally started saving for that house again. Even went on a date last week. Sophia is not the only one who can move on with life. Aunt Maria is trying to set me up with her friend's daughter because apparently this story needed more Italian family cliches. Isabella sent me a card last week. Drew a picture of us on the front, her in her Dorothy costume, me giving her the yellow roses. Inside she wrote, "Thank you for always believing in me. I'll always remember what you said. I'm strong." Hey, I cried a little. Sue me. Look, I don't know if my family will ever be what it was before all this. Maybe it shouldn't be. But Isabella is growing up strong and smart, and that's what matters. She'll break the cycle, and I'll be there to help her do it the right way.